All right, so now having covered fear and hope, we're going to talk about what in a lot of ways are the emotions which result from them, that those emotions transform into, and that is daring and despair. So I want to give two examples, and then we'll talk a little bit about the difference between your emotions and the virtues, which will lead us to our final episode as we talk about virtue itself and just some practical takeaways as one walks away from this course to think about their emotions and how they can grow in integration. All right. So the first example I want to give to help us understand what daring and despair is talking about a race. So let's say that you're running a race which you hope to win. So you hope to win this race. As you're running, you're at the front of this race. And then immediately you see, kind of out of the blue by surprise, a runner comes up next to you. The first feeling there is going to be a kind of fear. So here's this possible evil of losing the race. And if they sneak up on you, then again, when you're considering a possible future evil, if the snapshot estimation is resistible, then you're going to feel daring. If it's irresistible, then you're going to feel fear. And so when they sneak up on you like that, you might be led to feel like this is irresistible. You came out of nowhere. Where'd he come from? If he begins to move past you, you will feel that emotion that comes from the possible present evil, this person beating you, you losing, and as irresistible, that's fear. Now consider what happens next in these emotions. So he comes up next to you, you look over and you say to yourself, or you have a snapshot judgment estimation of, he may beat me, he may win the race. So I might lose the race. Fear, there's the emotion. As he goes past you, fear will then transform into, instead of I might lose the race, to I am going to lose the race. That is despair. So fear transforms into despair. Despair is a withdrawal from the future possible good. That future possible good was winning the race that you've withdrawn from in the heart, right, in your sensitive passions, because of your fear. Your fear is causing this despair. So you were afraid he would beat you. Now it really looks like he is going to beat you. So fear, I might lose the race. Despair, I am going to lose the race. And then when the race has ended, and let's say he has won the race, now we're in sorrow. I have lost the race, because what is sorrow? Sorrow is an acquiescence in the present perceived evil. So it's over. The race is over, and now that present evil is just here. There's no more struggling against it. It's done. The race is finished. So that's an example. This race here is an example of how fear transforms into despair, can transform into sorrow. In the same way it can happen with desire, hope, or let's say hope, daring, and then joy. So fear, when you contemplate with your irascible passions, what you have is a mixed good. So the other analogy that we've been using is you have the golden trophy here that's being guarded by the bandit. So the irascible passions are elicited here because there are aspects of it which are perceived as possible evils. The bandit, he could hurt me, as well as possible present goods. So I could get the trophy. Now that snapshot estimation is going to give you either, if you see, looking at the evil, that it's irresistible, then you're going to feel fear. If considering so that's the evil aspect of this. If you're looking at the good aspect of it, which is the trophy to be attained, and it looks like it is attainable, the snapshot judgment is hope. Whichever one of those you feel there, what is it? Does it look like you're going to be able to win in this scenario? If the judgment is no, that's fear. If the judgment is yes, that's hope. What's going to happen next is hope will transform into the emotion which follows from it, or fear will transform into the emotion which follows from it, depending on which of those snapshot judgments, estimations you made at that moment. If it is fear, you look upon the scenario, you see the evil is irresistible, and that continues, right? That's like solidified in the heart. Then fear of the evil as irresistible will cause you then, when looking at the possible good, to despair of it, to despair of attaining that good. That's what despair is. It's the emotion elicited in us when we look at the possible good as unattainable. Fear transforms into despair. But on the flip side, let's say you're looking at this scenario And when you consider that good, the trophy, it does look attainable, even amidst the obstacles. It does look attainable. You feel hope, and then hope transforms into daring. What is daring? Daring is seeing this possible evil as resistible, as overcomable. And so daring will then move you to our last passion, which we've spoken about already, which is anger. So hope moves to daring, which moves to anger. Why is that the case? Because you're looking at the scenario, it looks like the good is attainable, hope. That leads you, that moves the heart to then consider the evil as resistible. This thing, I can get this trophy. And so now when it comes to that evil, I can resist it. Then the next emotion is, I will resist it. I'm going to resist it. The movement of the heart to resisting the evil, not just like it's possible in the future. I'm going to have to do something about this bandit someday or at some moment, but I am right now. Right? The heart is actively engaging against this evil. It's not in the possible future now, it's present. That's going to elicit anger. Anger is the emotion, as we've been saying, it's fuel for the fight. It's going to help you resist this evil, so for the sake of the good. So this is how daring and despair work out. They are caused by their previous emotions. So daring is caused by hope, and despair is caused by fear. So if one lives in a state of despair, maybe a state of depression, and I'm not a clinical psychologist by any sense, but one may have to ask, do I see a lot of obstacles around me? Do I see evils which I take to be, for whatever reason, irresistible, that are causing me to despair of the good which I desire, which I long for, which I am seeking for? If one lives in daring, it's probably because you have great hope. You have great hope that you will get this promotion, that you will be successful in evangelization, whatever the arduous good is in your life. Men of great hope are of daring. But there is a difference between the feeling of daring, we can sometimes say the feeling of courage, and the habit of courage, the virtue of courage. And so now we're going to talk about that difference in our last episode, which is what are the virtues, very briefly, the distinction between them and the emotions, so that we can seek to grow in virtue, integrate our passions under reason, knowing which ones to dispel, which ones to encourage, so that we might live in accordance with reason, in accordance with God's revelation. And so let's move on now to our last episode on some practical tips and the virtues.